I think my questions are more related to when you can protect yourself, when not to, when to shoot, when not to. And, I know there's different laws during the day versus at night as far as your house goes and the surroundings outside your house. If somebody's breaking in your car, I believe if it's, after dark, you're allowed to use lethal force or self-defense. If it's during the day, you might be in a little bit more trouble. So what is the law related to that?
It gets very, very tricky. So I'm going to give you, I'm probably better served by giving you the practical aspects of the law, and then I'll give you the law. The practical aspects of it is, do not get in a gunfight over something other than someone else's life or your family's life. Someone's breaking in your car.
That is excellent advice.
All of us want to go out there and stop the guy. But imagine what they're going to say at your funeral. You lost your life over a wallet. Why get involved in a potential gunfight over property? You may be legally allowed to do it. It may be okay. You may be justified, and many people would do it. But in the end, if things go bad, that's the very last thing you want to do is lose your life over a wallet. Someone's harming your family, the conversation at your funeral is totally different. He died a hero protecting his family, not died a fool because he's trying to protect his wallet and gets in a gunfight over $50.
Yeah, his radar got stolen. And
that's right. So practically speaking is, unless someone is about to be killed and you fear for your life, don't put yourself in a situation where you can get in a gunfight. It's just not worth it. And it's easier said than done. You look out your window and some kid's, trying to start your car. Of course you want to go confront him, but if he's armed, it could be a big problem. It could turn ugly really quick.
Sure.
Legally speaking, it can get very tricky, but ultimately what it boils down to is you can use deadly force, like you talked about, if someone is stealing from you, theft, and you can't recover the property any other way, or you are putting yourself at risk for being seriously injured if you don't proceed to protect that property. Meaning, if there's no other way to recover the property, number one, or you're putting yourself at risk for being killed or seriously injured if you don't confront this person. And it ultimately boils down to reasonable. That's what a jury has to decide is your behavior reasonable? Is it reasonable that someone, say they try to rob you? They walk up and they try to take your wallet, but they don't have a weapon. Is it reasonable that you shoot and kill them when you never see a weapon? Probably not. It's a little gray area. If you have a 90-year-old lady and he tries to take her purse and she shoots and kills him, is that going to be reasonable? Most people would say yes. So that's why the statute reads the way it does, is your behavior must be reasonable under the circumstances. Reasonable to you is not reasonable to an 80-year-old lady.
Sure.
Reasonable to me is not reasonable to a 4'10" lady that weighs 80 pounds, but she's the same age. Now, if you see a deadly weapon, that changes everything.
Sure.
And what I've always told my friends and family is, if you legitimately fear for your life, kill someone. But if you can't say that you legitimately in your gut at that moment think you're going to die, don't do it. It's not worth it, because ultimately, if you don't feel it in your gut, it's probably not reasonable. But everybody's had that feeling. They have that feeling in the gut of their stomach like, oh no, this is bad.
Right.
This is going to go south really quickly.
Yeah.
And you know that this is a problem. If you get that feeling, you're going to have to justify it in court, potentially. And if you believe it in your gut, telling someone about that fear is much easier than you being unreasonable in how to justify your actions.
Sure.
So, it's a long list of things where you can protect yourself, and what it boils down to is it reasonable and do you fear for your life? Yes, you can shoot and kill someone for criminal mischief at nighttime. They're spray painting your truck. You can shoot and kill them. Under the statute, you can. But you're going to have to live with killing somebody for someone causing a couple $1,000s in damage of your truck.